Welcome back to Two Coaches, One Conversation. Once again, I'm Coach Sheldon.
Coach Will.
And boy, we got a special guest in the building today. Go ahead and let the people know who you are today, sir.
Coach Brewer, Cen-Tex Dynasty.
Cen-Tex Dynasty.
How y'all doing?
All right. Well, this is our first inaugural guest to the show. We've been doing it together with me and Coach Will, but we've been wanting to get a guest on the show that shares some of the same views as us and has different views for different things that's going to shed some more light on subjects of things that we like to talk about on the show. First of all, I want to say congratulations, sir. Got married here.
Yes, congratulations.
I see that?
Yes, sir.
Got the ring on?
Congratulations to you, the wife, the family.
Thank y'all, man.
Everything looked beautiful. How you feel?
Married? Nah, I feel good, man. Everything was beautiful, man. I feel real good.
Okay. Well, for the people out there that don't necessarily know you and know what you do, tell people a little bit about yourself and how you got this thing started.
Well, this will be my third season coaching Cen-Tex Dynasty. I actually got started because of him over here. I just wanted to do something different for the city of Belton because at that point they didn't have a team. Right. So my daughter was just coming off injury, so I just wanted to kind of train her myself and start a team up with some of her teammates, and so that's how I got started. Just really on the hope and the prayer. Okay, that was it. Cool. And so third season now. Still going strong.
Okay. Now, coaching isn't for everyone. Some people tend to look at it as a job or something to do or something to fill the time, or it's just their profession because of what they kind of fell into. But a lot of people have love for the sport and love for the aspect of teaching kids. So what made you fall in love with it?
Well, I've been playing basketball since I've been a kid. And actually my first love was baseball. But in Indiana, everybody know Indiana, the sport is basketball. So When I figured out, not a lot of people came to baseball games, I stuck to basketball ever since.
Right.
So the reason I started the team is actually funny because I had been helping training girls for years.
Right.
I never wanted to actually coach a team, but with people persuading you to go ahead and coach.
Yeah, I put a lot of pressure.
Man.
Kept
pushing buttons and all that other stuff. So I finally decided, okay, let me go ahead and get into this, the whole coaching thing, which I ain't gonna lie, it wasn't easy. Man, it wasn't easy.
Right.
Because I've never coached girls. I've trained, boys a lot. Trained a few girls, my daughter, but I've never coached girls. So that was different for me.
Don't worry, we're gonna get into that later.
Yeah, but
don't give them too much away right now. Don't give them too much.
Oh man.
All right. Well, I mean, and in light of what you said, you never expect what you're gonna do until you get into it, and everyone's apprehensive until they try it. And like I always tell Coach, it's easy when you're in them stands, but boy, when you step on that line,
what you should have did, what you should have put in, it changes when you come to the coaching side.
It's like a whole nother world.
And when you got 10 faces looking at you when you call a timeout, wondering what they need to do, and you like, yep, that's that moment. So glad you got into it. What you got, Coach?
Hey, we still flowing just fine. I'm watching them not sweat under the lights right now.
Okay. Now, when we came up with these questions, now I got a little feedback. A little bird told me that, what y'all coming with these questions? Y'all trying to put me on the hot seat, but we ain't trying to do that. We're just trying to get the aspect and get a good feel for what other people think when they're doing this thing. So, cause we love to do it and we had fun with the show, so we just wanted to bring you on and have a little fun with you. We ain't trying to put nothing on you.
No, look, I'll say this, that I've looked at the other couple shows and hey man, some stuff been coming out on these videos. If y'all ain't watched them, y'all need to go back and watch the other ones because there's some real stuff on these shows. We're gonna get something today too.
Shout out to Two Coaches, One
Yes,
Conversation.
sir.
Baby.
Shout out to him.
This is what we do right now. All right, so we're gonna move along. Okay, so now that we know that you kind of fell in love with the game, give me that moment that you know that this is something you could do, that you got rid of that jitteriness, you was ready to do this.
When you put all the excuses to the side for about 4 years, that I actually like, hey, come on, coach, and I mean, this brother gave me every excuse under the sun, to Jesus coming back, to to my water was dripping, but he finally got into it. So what moment made that happen?
Actually, my daughter. When my oldest daughter, the one thing I told her is, when you're ready for me to coach you, you tell me. And when she finally came to me and said, Dad, I'm ready. So that's when, at that point, I talked to my fiance. She was my fiance at the time, my wife. And we came up with a plan, and we were like, we didn't know how it was going to work, but she was just like, let's just do it. And so I called Coach Will, and I told him, I said, hey man, I'm thinking about going ahead and starting a team. And so he was like, oh, really? I said, yeah. He's like, okay. And the first thing he said, what you need? So I was like, well, I need to know what I need to do. So he was like, well, you got to get this together. You got to get this together. It was so much. But then after that, it was like, once things started really coming together, even without even having a team yet, I knew like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Shout out to his daughter, Jocelyn Brewer. Has she signed yet?
Not yet.
So
she about to.
We gonna pub some. Yes, we gonna pub her on here. If you haven't had a chance to watch her play and you don't know her name, you will know her name.
She's really my daughter, but I let him claim her. Just so y'all know, she's really my daughter, but I let him claim her.
She looked like him.
All right. So in the beginning, you mentioned your name of your program, Cen-Tex Dynasty. Tell us a little bit about Cen-Tex Dynasty.
Well, Cen-Tex Dynasty. First I could probably tell you where the name comes from.
Well, I was going to ask you that later.
Okay.
Go ahead, put it together.
Put it all together?
Put it together.
Okay.
Put it together.
We'll put it all together. Well, the name came from, Jessica and I, shout out to my wife, the name came from, we were trying to make a team name that meant something. And so when we came up with the name Dynasty, we wanted to be more of something that lasts beyond us.
Right.
So that's where the name Dynasty came from. Cen-Tex, just, because we were in the central
right.
area. But Dynasty was basically just, we wanted something that even if I'm not coaching it anymore and somebody, and I decide to pass it on to somebody else, the name will still be there. Just, building a dynasty full of girls that, come, go to college, come back, inspire somebody else. It's just, kind of like the Cougar family, everybody, you got little Cougars here. You got Cougars all over the place.
Right.
They come out of the woodwork. Be like, hey, you used to be a Cougar too? Yeah, I'm Coach Will, girl. So, that kind of inspired me, and that's the reason why I came up with the name. Now, the colors?
Pittsburgh Steelers, baby.
You already know.
Let me tell you. We're in Texas where either you're a Texan fan or a Cowboy fan, but guess what? We're Steelers fans.
Yes.
Coach Sheldon is a Falcon fan, so we let him make it.
I'm in that black and red, baby.
Anything Georgia, he's with.
Now,
I don't say nothing about the Falcons.
Now, when I hear the name Dynasty,
not blue, right?
when I hear that name Dynasty, I think about great teams. You go with your, whether it's the Chicago Bulls of the '90s or the Lakers of the '80s, or even synonymous with Boston Celtics and any of the greats, the Connecticut Huskies. Your Dynasty. So with that name being there, do you feel like it's pressure to live up to that type of name, or has that name really progressed into becoming a dynasty so far?
It's getting there slowly but surely. And the girls are, I think the girls represent the name more than anything, because they tend to go around and they call themselves Dynasty Girls, so it's more, it's more of them, you know what I mean? Right. They go out and buy the t-shirts or some of the parents had towels made with the names on it. And, it's more of the kids and the family that makes the name what it is. And, and he'll tell you, mostly like, it's more of a, kind of like it's almost like a language we speak now. It's like, we said we play dynasty ball. Yeah.
You know who you play with.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody say, okay, I know your girls, because your girls are, they defensive first. Those are Cougar girls. So like when you see dynasty, like, oh, that's dynasty style. Like they not rushing on offense. They patient. They waiting on it. They smart. So you know them by their style of play. You also know by how they carry themselves off the court. They carry themselves kind of like Cougars do. At first, when you first get them, they like want to be a part of the crowd. But then as you progress and then life goes on, you start seeing them separate from the crowd because you preach the same thing we preach. When you're successful, everybody can't go with you. Success has very few people at the top. So, same thing with Dynasty.
Yeah, and I noticed that, from the times that we've been around as an inner squad, whether it's scrimmaging or at tournaments, the camaraderie they show toward each other as a family, as sisters, they stick together and they've grown and they know that there's been a lot of tough times. But when you start something new, you don't know how it's going to turn out. But the belief there that they're going to play together and eventually they're going to get together. And we still owe you. You got us like a couple times already. And
but don't worry.
Yeah,
it's coming back.
Yeah, here we go. All good things reciprocate.
Yes, they do. Look, and here's funny because the girls at the last practice before all this crazy mess happened, they said, "Coach, hey, when we gonna scrimmage the Cougars again?" I said, "Oh, it's coming." I said, they already been asking them, because one of the girls in particular who didn't get a chance to scrimmage last time,
right?
She said, I need to get a piece of them. I said,
wow,
okay.
Look at that old rivalry.
You already know, man.
But the funny thing is, when we had tournaments together, though, we support each other.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But that's the way competition is supposed to be.
Right.
Coaches are cool, but once we get on the court, hey,
Go
we
ahead.
cool, bro.
Yeah.
But right now, you're going to take that ass whooping.
Look, play ball.
Play ball.
So let's go back in your mind's vault here.
Okay.
So obviously, you've known Coach Will quite a few years, but more than I would say quite. That's small, brother.
8, 9 years.
So tell us about your guys' relationship. Like kind of give us a little bit of background how that began and how it's built over the years of knowing each other.
Well, I first met him. He started off Boys and Girls Club. He was coaching Boys and Girls Club. My daughter came in, couldn't dribble nothing. And so I remember when he first seen her, he said, first practice after, they practiced, he said, she can rebound though. I was like, yeah. He said, and she tough. I was like, man, I don't know if that's enough to keep on the court. So he said, no, don't worry about it. I got it. So that was what, 5th grade?
Fourth grade, yeah.
Man. Yeah, they were like 4th grade.
She had a cast on her arm.
Yeah, because she had broke her wrist or something.
Playing softball. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so she came out there, and ever since then, her and Will they've been tight since that time. Like I'll be looking for her, she'll be at his house. I'll be like, where you at? I'm over at my dad's house. And so, and I never, and I think that's the beauty of. The relationship that we do have, is that, our daughters, are best friends. And even though they played against each other, they've always remained best friends for all these years. The competition never got in the way of that.
Right.
And they do go hard at each other. But them members on the same team, oh my goodness.
I've seen a lot of elbows in practice back in the day when she was a Cougar. Oh my. A lot of pushing.
So to piggyback off that, so explain how you mentioned you called him. He was the first person you called when you wanted to set up the program. Mm-hmm. So what were some of the good advice that he was giving you and continue to give you that you can lean on?
Oh man. Okay, first thing he told me, I never knew you had to get a 501c. I had no clue. I just thought it was about basketball. He was like, nah man, you gotta handle your business in, man. The business, I was like, man, it's just basketball. He said, no, man, you gotta handle this. So he showed me how to handle the business end of it, which honestly and truly scared the heck out of me because I didn't know, that much was involved in it. I just, we used to pay him money, and just getting over with, showing up at practice, and people don't understand that
there's a legitimate side to
yes.
it. So like when you picking club teams and travel teams, if you making a check out to Joe Smith, you might want to ask Joe Smith where that money going, where y'all going. But if you legit, you got a bank account, you got a 501c, you got a tax ID, you got all that lined up because it keeps it honest. So when somebody wonder where the money at, like, well, you can look at 1099. So we good.
Man, hey, look, and when I got that part together, I had my wife. She was like, "Man, that's a lot." And I was like, "Yeah." And so he showed me that part. Then he told me the part about the camaraderie of a team and how to, coach every player differently. Because he showed me you can't coach every player the same. Certain players will shut down on you. Certain players will get back loud with you. But he said, but every one of you have to figure out how to coach them.
Right.
And so that was one thing that was good. He showed me as far as just how to structure the program. How to come to practice and prepare with a list of things that you're gonna do that day. Because he told me the one thing you don't want to do is come to practice unprepared. He said because the parents will notice it. He said the kids will start noticing it. He said you'll look ragged. Right. He's like, so that was just a few things he showed me that I took in, and some of my other coaches, I have a list of them. They be like, man, all that. I be like, yeah, man, I got a time frame. We got 20 minutes for this. We got 10 minutes for that. And so,
right.
And that's one of the things I picked up. So I appreciate him for that.
So all you coaches out there who mad at the other coach, you go take all the kids and go start your own program. Make sure you have your business right. Mm-hmm. Make sure you know what you're doing, because you'll be right back giving your money back to that coach that know what they're doing. That's my tip for the day. Now,
that's a great tip.
That's a freebie. Is that free?
That's a freebie.
Okay, that's a freebie.
That's a
okay,
that's free. We ain't charging. Now, the next one we're going to charge you. We don't told you. All right. So, tell us about the program, the other side that people really don't get to see. So, tell us the ups and downs of running your own program when you are the head and everything falls back on you, and not you just giving your money to that coach and then you just sit and practice and watch.
Well, let's start with the ups.
Okay.
Let's start with the ups.
Ups are always good.
The ups is when you see the girls progressing. For me, that's the ups. When you get a girl that come in that can't pour a cup of water, in the sink. And
you're right.
You know what I mean? And then by the end of the summer, you see them, making plays and things like that. To me, that's the ultimate in this thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's no better feeling than that. Now, the downs. Let's go with the downs real quick. Oh man. You know what? I'm just gonna say it.
Go ahead. Cause I was gonna help you out with it.
No, don't worry about it.
I got one for you too. Okay. I got one for you.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. The downs is no matter what happens, good or bad, particularly bad, it all comes back on you. No matter what it is.
Right.
If you lose a game, no matter, you might have had the best game plan, the kids might not have went out there and executed, but if y'all lose, you are the person that everybody looks at is why y'all lost.
Right.
And I think that part, especially when you new at owning a team or having your own team, that part is the one that is what gets to you first. You know what I mean? Not because when you play, you guys know when you play basketball, you can control everything on the court.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can determine whether y'all win or lose. But when you're coaching, you telling them what they need to do, but you can't necessarily control them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's the frustrating part about coaching, is that you'll see a girl with potential. I mean, mad potential. And you trying your best to pull it out of them, pull it, and they not getting it. And, the more you coach them, it seems like some of them just
fight it.
Oh my gosh. It's like an open battle with some girls. And it's just, to me, that's one of the downsides of coaching, trying to pull that real potential out of those girls that really have it.
Right.
And so I would say more of the frustrating part would be parents. I know that ain't something popular, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it on here.
But it's the truth.
Parents. That's probably the biggest down of AAU ball.
Right.
Is dealing with parents and unrealistic, I would say unrealistic expectations from their child. And
can I correct that one real quick?
okay.
It's not unreal expectations of the child, it's the commitment level. Because when you get these kids 7th, 8th, 9th grade, they're not driving themselves. Parents are driving. So they want you 100% committed all the time. And then on the flip side, kid may miss you only practice 3 days a week and they miss 2 days. But they expect that kid to come in and be a starter. That's one of the things I told you in the beginning, like when you're recruiting your kids, go to those games, watch the parents. Because that same parent that's acting a donkey in the bleachers, I don't care how talented that kid is, if the parents are acting a donkey and they want their child to be the star, leave that kid where they at. That kid is a fit for a different program.
Yeah.
So parents can either make or break on an organization. And you know, I've been doing this 16 years. I lose track of the years, but I learned early, like you learned early. We had parents that were like, first year, we're winning, we're doing great. Hey, you should play in this tournament. Hey, you should play in that tournament. But then when you go research those tournaments, they're good tournaments, but the price goes up. What are you doing with this money? What are you doing with this? What are you doing with that? So that normally happens about year 3. Tommy got blessed in year 2.
Lord.
And, you know, I got to experience it my second year having my own squad underneath the program where the parents staged their own coup to...
That was great, by the way.
Right, to do their own thing or try to strong on the program. And when you go back and look at it and you're still here doing this, that means that you survived whatever it is that they were planning and everything rolled on, and what they did didn't affect the long term. It may have affected the short term for a small amount of time, but as time went on, we're still here, we're still surviving, and we're not gonna allow just the now to affect the later. If that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense.
So yeah, and I do remember last year at a tournament, you did have some issues and some things happened that you didn't know what was going on, but you persevered through that. You want to speak on it a little bit?
Yeah, I can speak on it. Well, we just had a few issues that did happen my first year. Like you said, my first year was excellent. It was, everything ran smooth. We were, first year program. We actually won tournaments that we weren't supposed to win, and won games we probably shouldn't have won. And so when I came into my second year, I was thinking, okay, I got a strong foundation. I got pretty much the same girls coming back. I was thinking, hey, things are gonna be great. And the whirlwind came, and certain questions started coming up that I wasn't expecting. And I'll even give a couple of examples. One of the questions was, where's the money go to? It's like he said. And it upset me because, everything, that you do in this AAU thing and every bit of money that you raise, it all goes to the girls. And so my answer was the girls. That was my answer. Right. I probably should have gave it, a little bit more details, on where it does go, but I got frustrated because of the way the questions was coming, and it was a little disrespectful. I won't get into all that. My answer was the money goes to the girls, and so and I left it at that. And a couple of my parents just was persistent, and it blew up totally out of proportion. And so my wife and I, we went through the struggles of things getting pointed our way to saying that, they're not doing right by the girls. And I said, well, my answer was, well, all the tournaments are paid for. They have uniforms. They got a place to practice. That's where the money goes. And what these parents didn't understand, I don't know if I could. I'll speak about it.
You can speak about it.
Yes.
Because I was going to tackle it if you didn't.
And what these parents don't understand is, in being the owner of a team, you lose money every year on this thing.
You're operating at a deficit.
Every year I've lost money operating Cen-Tex Dynasty, and I don't mind it. And not to brag or anything like that, but you have kids that can't pay. And I'm not one of them coaches that will turn a kid off just because their mom or their dad can't afford to pay. So I took that hit and I put my own money to pay that kid's fees, to make sure that kid has a uniform, to make sure that kid can play in the tournaments and things like that. But some of these parents, they didn't, they don't know that.
Right.
So they assume, oh, everybody on the team paid the same amount of money, which they do, but some of them have to be on a payment plan. So, you might not get all your money up front, so you still have to invest your money into paying for these things until you get your money back. And so,
a lot of times you
never get that money
your
back.
money back. If you're a club coach, and I promise you, you're gonna see a kid diving in the bleachers. You're gonna be like, man, that kid got some heart, some potential, and I promise you, that kid will not be able to afford to pay for your team. And all these people that say they love the children, all these businesses and other people, you be like, hey, listen, I got a kid I need to get sponsored, or parents that pretend to be like, I got my Gucci bag, my Chanel belt,
right.
my Prada shoes. Okay, you see this kid struggling, their parents don't have it, but ain't none of them volunteering to come out of pocket.
Not at all.
So when we tell you coaches operate their teams at a loss, what was last year we opened up with a $5,000 deficit?
Yes.
We already knew that.
Yep.
So, now I'm not gonna lie. There are some crooked coaches out there. I have to catch myself. But parents will flock to those coaches because their price is cheaper, but it's really more expensive in the long run when they coming at you like my fee is $500, but you're doing $10,000 in fundraising and you still pay as you go tournaments, or you sending $50 here for a hotel room or $100 here for a hotel room. You really getting robbed blind. They really pimping you. So when you have a coach that's legitimately telling you, when you ask, we have a thing where you can ask us anytime, open up the books. We will open the books for you. We give you a budget up front as to where all the money's going, but that's one of the most disheartening things as a legitimate coach.
Right.
Yes.
Somebody accusing you of stealing, not knowing that you pumped thousands of dollars of your own money into the organization.
And it's funny that he says that because he warned me before I set my prices. I said, no, I'm gonna set my prices low. He was like, okay. He said, you gonna operate at a loss? I told him, yeah, I got it, man. And it came back and it bit me exactly the way it said. He said that it would bite me. Right. And so, true statement. Charge what you need to charge. If you're a coach out there, charge what you need to charge, because not only will it help that other, will it help the rest of the girls, it'll definitely save you in the long run.
And trust God gonna provide the rest for
all the time.
Hey, that's another free tip. Mm-hmm. Now, if you do whatever else you want to do, don't say we didn't want it.
Mm-hmm. And with that one, I know a lot of people get frustrated with the school coaches, the AAU coaches, and you want to move your kid. If your kid's not growing, or they just mentally abusing your kid, or whatever, snatch your kid. But I'm telling you, charge what you're supposed to charge. Because that kid will always thank you. You will know the parent that can't afford it. You will know the parent that don't have it. You'll know who's trying to get over. I was told by my friend Coach Vic, every person has a soft sword. She's like, hell, you got a soft sword. You can't fall for it.